in the thick of it, when all the other guys have just pulled away. All the guys that got theirs pulled away, and this guy stayed with it. I don't know why. You asked me why you stayed with it.
Well, I'll tell you this, that I'll say what I think, and I never want to have to apologize for anything I say.
Yeah.
I think that I'm a realist. I'm not going to coddle anybody. If I do something or somebody is going in the wrong direction, but all I can do is tell them, look, maybe you ought to look at it this way, you know. If they take your advice, fine. If not, well, that's their thing. But I mean, I've made input into many things. I've worked with the Board of Education, and I think that I was responsible for a lot of our educators getting different promotions. I fought the Department of Labor to get us an on-the-job training grant, and it was sold out by my own people, but we got the grant anyway. I fought with the opportunity to keep the MAC project going for 3.5 years on the funding. I worked full-time for a year and a half without pay. I spent all the money that I had saved. I left my business, and in 1969, when I left the project, I had to start from scratch all over again, and I'm still involved. And I don't know what kind of sacrifice you expect of an individual, but I can tell the Mexican-American community to go to hell any time because I've done my part, you know. And I'm here, like I said, when I first spoke, I'm here for self-interest. I want it out. It's that simple. And if you can't appreciate the truth, well, then that's up to you.
Again, may I say something?
Certainly.
The question that I had asked before, the beginning, I still didn't get an answer on it.
Maybe
About, no, this was directed at this gentleman here. Say, like I had mentioned before, a union contractor submits a bid, 2 non-union contractors submit a bid, yet the non-union could be done. Now, being that it's city, and you yourself said that city would prefer union other than non-union. Now, what type of a chance does non-union contractors have in submitting a bid on this, so they can get the labor cheaper by being non-union?
I believe that
Let me
I was going to suggest that he would answer that because he is dealing with this constantly. I can answer, but I would rather him answer.
Well, I would
It's a big
rather you
contract.
answer because you are representing the city.
Okay, the only thing I can say, the city goes by certain specifications, and there are included in this set right here, that they will not accept the non-union.
Well, now, you see, now, Mr. Montoya had just told, when I asked the question before, Mr. Montoya shook his head that there would be no difference in the city accepting a non-union bid. Now, my husband is non-union. Now, I mean, if this is the case, if the city will not submit a non-union bid from a contractor that is non-union, then I don't see why non-union contractors were invited here to submit their bid.
Let me try to answer this. Non-union contractor cannot submit a bid.
But they can't submit it, but the city will not take it.
Hear me out. Any contractor that is a bona fide licensed contractor can submit a bid. But that bid has got to be accompanied by a bid bond.
Right.
Okay? And whenever he is, let's say, the successful contractor, he has got to abide by the affirmative action, by the minimum wage laws, and they're all in here.
Hey, can I say something?
So it's still got to be there. So you see, whether he's in it or not, he's got to meet the criteria of the city. And I'll tell you, and I'll give you some background.
I just wanted a simple answer.
Okay,
Can I say something?
All right, yes, sir.
Okay, now, like you say that, suppose a non-union contractor has to prefer to me. Okay, you think if I'm gonna put on there and build this thing and put this away, and this is saying, I mean, I gotta abide by this.
That's right.
Right. So, I mean, you're trying to say that if you get a non-union contractor, they ain't gonna go by this.
I didn't say
Are
that.
you referring to?
No, sir. No, I didn't say that.
You know, referring to it, like you say, the minimum wage now.
You can hear what you want to hear, but I didn't say that.
Well, maybe I
and
misinterpreted the
didn't
words.
hear that.
You know, but like you
All I'm
said,
saying that the city, in all its contracts, these are standard forms.
actually, I understand that fact, but I mean, if I want to put in a bid for this thing, right? Whatever my bid is, whatever, right? Okay. Now, if I stick to my specifications, my plan, and I build that thing, according to specifications, whatever, non-union or union, as long as I put the specifications, you gotta accept it.
Why, right, why could,
This
why
land
is
says they prefer a union contract.
Well, they do.
All right. So, I mean, that's,
They do.
there you
because
go.
I'll
You're
tell
not, how many union contractors or Mexicans or whatever that are big enough to handle a job like this? There's none. Maybe you, I don't know.
There's quite a few.
You name it.
Well, Carlos Garcia,
I know Carlos Garcia,
Mr. Montoya's one?
but I know him.
Ben Cruz, Benjamin Cruz,
Benjamin Cruz,
He's capable of all
Andy Canales,
I know Andy and others too.
Yeah.
But how come they ain't here?
the two Arguello brothers.
Why was out of business?
No,
los
there's two
Mayo
of them. One of them maybe, I think one was still in
Rupert, I don't know.
I think Rupert's still in business. And I think that a lot of the fellows done a lot of remodeling work.
Yeah.
This is where they know their
Well,
work
this is
better.
really the
They're
first
good at
meeting where
it.
we're
They make
doing
money
this
at
together.
it. And unless you are willing to go through all the red tape.
Well, no, I'm not saying me, I'm particularly.
This is just amusing things. Or any cigar contractor or black contractor for that matter. If they want to go through all the red tape, any type of establishment work, whether it's city, county, state, or federal, you go through the same damn thing.
Well, I understand that.
See, and a lot of people, not just Mexicanos or black, but a lot of guys just don't want to fight.
They shy away from it because it is a hard bid, I mean, it is hard.
You have to add 10% to your overall cost just to live up to the 50%.
I agree with you.
You have to.
Yeah, those people, those contractors you were mentioning, are they union?
Not all of them.
Which
Some
some
are-
of them?
Some of them are, some are not.
Did
Most
they
of them
know
are.
about this?
I beg your pardon?
Did they know about the bidding?
I don't think so. Oh, yes.
We just found
No,
out.
they knew about the bid because this
How
thing.
did they
I'm pretty
know?
sure.
Let me say this, please. This is advertised. This is advertised in all in the construction reporter, the other, in the Dutch report, it comes out in the daily transcript. These are the three main advertising work advertisements that come out for jobs that are coming up. And it gives a date where to pick up the plan. So those people who are interested go and pick up the plan. Some plans you have to put a deposit on. The ones for the city are the only ones I know of where you can go up and pick up the plan free.
How long have they been publicized?
This went last year, one, and there was only one guy who did the job. I didn't get to it in time, I would have did it. But I was tied up until the job and I couldn't handle another job. So I didn't bid it that time. In fact, you told me about it besides, years.
It was very small in scope in comparison to what it is now. The first time that it actually came out to bid. That was last
Well,
year.
you know, that's a good sized job, it is big, really good for business.
Let's see, compa, right.
Well, I'm gonna have to leave. I had
Just a
another
minute,
meeting.
another thing, Mr. Montoya. You said, that you were,
Pásale.
president of the minority, businessmen's association?
No,
No, well, they have,
Minority contractors.
all right, minority contractors, whatever. They have got, a directory out. And in that directory, it states all your different contractors, Chicano contractors. And in it, there are landscaping, Chicano landscaping contractors. Now, if you couldn't find in your own directory a Chicano landscaper to come in and do the work here, I mean, what kind of an association are you chairman of?
let me say something here. And I have to say it in my own defense. This is only one job that I did, you know.
No, but
Wait,
you were
wait,
telling
no.
me that you couldn't
Wait.
find, there was contractors, not, Chicano contractors, not big enough.
That's right. And I stand by it, and I stand by it.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I did about 5, 6 jobs a month. You know, and to bid a job, to bid just this one job, it cost me about $700. This is money that I have to gamble to get all the material that I need in order to put the tractor together. So, according to the size of the job, I'm laying out a lot of money out there. And when you get, I average possibly 2 jobs out of 10. That's a damn good average, you know. So, subsequently, you don't have the time to be seeking out. You see? You don't. Unless you're in business, unless you're in this kind of business, you really don't understand it.
Well, then why don't you look in your own directory?
I have I have a list. I have the same list.
I've gone through the directory.
I have a list of 140 contractors of all kinds.
But like I said at the beginning of this first steering committee, we had agreed, and I think David, and Irene can remember,
Yes.
that we wanted Chicanos, only Chicanos, to build our park.
You want me to throw a little bomb in the middle of the area of thinking?
Go ahead.
There was a lot of our own Chicanos that don't want to be at a job like this. And not
Bring it
because
back to
it's
reality,
kind of
city.
hard. It's because it's a city job.
Well, I know one thing, none of them were either notified about it though, you know?
I know a lot of contractors that have not.
Most of us are exposed to just about every job that comes out to us, through associations, through minority contractors associations. We know just about every job that's coming out.
Your association, but what about the contractors who do not belong to your association?
They have access to the same journal.
They have access to the same journal, they're on the mailing list, they get a newsletter.
You get the, I'm never with.
Well, you're not a contractor.
I'm not.
You can have
I don't pay them.
Bueno, tener que decirle porque tengo otra commitment.
Okay, I'm gonna take over right now. Start, tell me if I'm wrong or if my judgment is wrong, but tell me after I said it. Okay?
David, can you say
For a
that?
decision.
Can I ask you a question before you leave them? I mean, before you
All
leave?
right, go ahead.
Before you say that? You know, like it was suggested earlier, and city representative said that, you know, they may jack up to 57, 20%. Okay, I don't know if you can come any lower or not. If they jack up 20%, would that fall into your 212 bid, or
Yes,
you still have to come down?
We can take the change, you don't need a change in fact. I think that we're in agreement here. And I'm making the assumption that we are. Excuse me, finish this up.
Didn't hear what you said.
No,
I didn't
Can't
understand.
hear what you said.
He said that they made, he's going under the assumption that we do not want a chain link fence. So he would like set loose the chain link fence from his estimate, would bring it down maybe a couple thousand or something.
more than that. Anyway, your item on the irrigation and landscaping.
Well, that's true, that is a low priority.
Another item.
One time.
And that can be modified and still,
That's 4,000.
I think that
Are we still, you still gonna keep?
we can get somebody to revamp the landscaping, and in fact, you could have less greenery and still be more attractive. These things happen, you know. It all depends on and I'm trying to put you down. Don't get me wrong, but you know this yourself. But there are ideas, and then there are ideas. So I think that that price on the landscaping could be brought down some, and there could be some other minor items in order to get you the most for your money. That's what I'm thinking about. Because if they make a big cut, $51,000 for that job, it's not going to be the same job.
May I ask you something, those are bond issues, the park bond issues that are being, going to be up, that won't have any, significance to this.
No bearing on this particular job.
Is this cut?
Yeah, it is.
Well, the only other alternative I can see there is, the revenue sharing, they are trying to put some of that money into parks. And And I think that this committee could be instrumental in trying to flash out a few bucks from there to bring
Yeah,
To bring your
there's
part
quite
out
a bit of money allocated for this if the bonds go through.
Yeah. So if you have no more questions for me, I'd like to leave you.
I just wanted to make it somewhat clear to the people that aren't contractors, the people that are here, people on the steering committee, and the position we're at. We're looking now at the park as being all of the land under the bridge to the bay. We're looking in the future so that the facilities that go into this park now, to this area, what's up for contract, we want them to be in such a way that they go along with this master plan concept. In other words, right, in other words, like benches and minor things like that can be deleted from the budget. That can always be put in later. But we do need the lighting system. We do need the drainage system. So this is like the position that we've been kicking around as a committee. This is where we're at. So along with perhaps going to the city and asking for the 20% as you suggested, that's a possibility open to us. But the other possibility is that we do decide to delete some of those items, and that would also bring down the.
Let me answer you by making a suggestion. If you decide that you want to put a resolution together and get the support of the community, don't go for just the difference. Go for about 10% over for contingencies and other little things, you know. Then if they have to cut you back, they cut you back to what you wanted in the first place.
Okay, now, before you go, I want to make a comment for myself. I want to make a comment for myself. I consider this Chicano Park Steering Committee as the voice of the community, for one thing. In the Chicano Park Steering Committee, we represent, I'm not gonna say all because that's not true, but we represent many organizations in the Chicano community, including just plain barrio people, which includes the Chicano Park Steering Committee, the Escuela de Barrio, the Toltecas in Aztlán, did I say Federation? The Chicano Federation. So we are, I just wanted to make that comment. I feel, and I think the rest of the committee feel it, we are the voice, and we've been consistent with the idea, and mentors also.
All right, this is great. Okay, but if you just take the committee, when you go into the council chambers, parece una araña, una mosca en la leche, you know, because it's a small committee. But if you take 10, 15 delegates from each organization that you represent, get 200 people there, fill the place out. That's what counts.
We've done it before.
Well, not if we're taking your suggestion, but that can be done easily. We've done that many times.
That's what they understand, body, you know.
But I'm not making that recommendation. Okay, thank you for coming.
Muchas gracias.
There's no use of any other, in my estimation, there's no use of any other contract to submit this bid.
Well, because he's pretty smart.
Okay.
But I still say that he is wrong in saying that there's not that many Chicano subcontractors that he can get.
Yeah,
in
that's what
there
I was
to,
wondering about.
To do the job.
I'll answer that this way. There is a lot of minority, or shall I say, Chicano contractors, subcontractors. I know very many of them, but they're incapable of coming up with the requirements like boundaries. That's the thing that makes it hard. And also, as Larry pointed out, we have a very strict set of specifications. That is very hard, and
Can I say something? He is right, because he's well, you know, I know him for a while, and he's a good man. And like he says, a lot of minority contractors, because it's a lot of, it's hard, it's a hard job.
As an overall contractor, yes. But
General.
as a subcontractor,
No,
it's not, it wouldn't be, I mean, look, this is my, overall contractor, it needs a big contractor, right? Like Larry Montoya, he is a big contractor. But yet he himself has said that he has got to subcontract out all of these other little things. All right, why go on the outside and get subcontractors when there is subcontractors within the Chicano
Right.
community?
That's what
And
I,
I can't understand. And when we had, first set up this committee, we had decided then and there that it would be nothing but done working on that part.
Okay,
I'll stick to that.
I'm gonna take the floor and this, and from now on, it's gonna get kind of messy. So, from now on, I'll only be recognizing when your hand goes up. Now,
Don't forget to look this.
okay, now, Avran has his hand up, and then from them is, after him is Tomas.
There's been enough, discussion, like on some of the items, some of the facilities, like the real popular tennis courts. The tennis courts are somewhere around $25,000. Right?
That's city's,
Okay. I wanted to ask a question. I think now that Pauline DeGrange, I think that she said that the tennis courts were part of the federal guidelines for the money.
well, the whole project is as far as that goes.
Yeah, but specifically the tennis courts, because there's quite a bit of negative opinion on actually having the tennis courts at this time, and in particular in the location. So what is the process? What is the process that we have to look at? If we were to say, as the committee, if we were to say, okay, we don't want the tennis courts, what's the reaction to that from the city and from?
They're willing to accept whatever comes from the body.
Can we use that $25,000 for?
Absolutely, that can be used for something
For
else.
cement instead of asphalt?
Right. That's why I suggest let's work on a priority list.
Right.
Let's say, well, this will be number one that we would like to come off of this one, it'll become within the budget. And remember, there is a very good possibility that it'll be increased by 20%. So we're talking around 180 and possibly $200,000 now, instead of the 150, the 160 they had or something like that.
Okay, Tomas.
Okay, in keeping with that line of thought that the 20% increase, which brings the budget up to around $2,000, I would, 200,000? Okay, I would like to recommend that this committee attach, let's say, at least 20% to that, or that we come up with another percentage in addition to the already projected rise of costs, and that we now start to work with a budget that we were working with before. It's set at $150,000, that we now look at that budget as a $200,000 budget and attach an additional percentage so that we can take the cutbacks. And that is the way that we approach the city council and say that we are no longer working with $150,000 because it is not in keeping with the rise of costs and what have you, and on top of that, add our own little tax, as it were, in the dope world, they say. So if I would like to put it out to those of us here that we approach this little project in that frame of mind, that we come to a decision. Do we start talking about a 30% increase, knowing that there is already a consideration and a recognition by the city on a 20% increase? Or do we go on a 40% increase or a 50% increase? And always keeping in mind that the 20% increase is the bottom.
oh, read. Está allá en el otro lado.
So I put that I think this man has the most expertise in that area, possibly this man, and then the rest of us just come to a general decision. Can we work that way so that we don't confuse ourselves with $150,000 and in essence just throw that out the window?
Okay, now it's my turn. I got the floor.
Wait a minute, I didn't get a consensus. I'm looking for, I'm looking for to hear what the other people feel.
Well, if you, I'm gonna refer to that right now. For one thing, I want to show of hands if everybody understands what he was talking about, because I got lost.
The contractor suggested it before.
I'll go over it once more. I'll go over it once more in very basic terms.
That's
okay?
what I wanted to know.
Basic terms.
Basic words,
When this,
too, if you don't mind.
when this was drawn up, the budget was set to be at $150,000. Am I correct? I'm going to lean to you, right? 157. Okay, that was 3 years ago.
Let's say 2.
2 years ago. Okay, since that time, there has been a rise in costs and inflation, right? Okay. At the council hall over there, at City Hall, Ms. DeGranger recognized the 20% increase. She recognized that as reality, that things cost more now, so that we can't realistically look at doing that work for $150,000. She has that in her mind, and the other members are well aware of that. Now, what I am putting forward to this body is that, one, we also incorporate that into our line of thinking, okay? That things have gone up 20%, and we attach 20% times 150,000, which gives us a new budget to work from. You with me? Okay. On top of that, we either we increase that by 10%, which makes it a 30% increase.
Why would 10%?
I don't know. Well, why? So when we start taking the cuts, it's
Excuse me, part of the logic that you might be able to use in this is the fact that by the time you do crank it through the city bureaucracy, it's going to be up another 10% anyway.
Okay, there's the helping hand.
You know.
Now I'm saying 20, do we deal with, now I'm putting forth percentages, do we deal with it at a 40%? Do we deal with it at a 35%? Do we deal with it at a 30%? But I'm feeling that we should have a percentage over and above the 20%, and that the 20% we really should be talking about, the 200,000, and let's talk now about what percentage above the 200,000 we want. So when we go to see, because now we are well aware that we are going to have to ask for more money, and that I really myself don't see any difficulty in acquiring the additional 20%, because they're already into that frame of mind.
If there's 30%.
Hold it. I only recognize a hand. That's the only way we're going to do business.
I'm not losing you, am I?
Yeah.
Okay, now wait a
Okay,
minute.
anybody put it any simpler? Maybe I recant.
If I got it, that's doing good.
That's good. Come on, sister, get it down.
In other words, we're looking out to the aspect that 20% is already in there, right?
Right.
10 more percent, as this gentleman said, is going to be accounted for by the time they rig it
Right.
all up together. So then, in other words, the 30% in there already, then we can go another 20% and make it 50%, right?
Right.
Right, and then you're more apt to get your 30.
I'm only going to recognize a hand, like I said before. Because too many people are talking. Now, please. I'm going to say please only one more time. I'm going to blow it again.
Get him a Budweiser.
Just one person talk at a time. That's all I'm asking for. His hand.
One comment here. I think that I'd like to go back and summarize kind of what happened when I first brought up the point that the bid might be a little bit, or rather the architect's estimate might be a little bit low. Okay, we're getting an admission. In essence, what is an admission from Pauline DeGray when she says, yes, we can go up 20%? In my mind, that's just an admission that the engineer's estimate or architect's estimate was a little bit low. Now, that's no reflection on the people that made the estimate, but it was low. Now, how high? I don't believe that you guys should, if you dealt with the city, with the architects, and you agreed that you were going to have a park, and that park was going to be such and such, it was going to be made out of this and this and this and this and this, I really, and this is a little bit off from what I talked to Abran earlier today, and it's a little bit different than what his ideas were, but it seems to me that you should insist on what you originally bargained for. You should say that you should get what you want, and you shouldn't say this is the thing that we're willing to give up. Now, I'm not saying this from the point of view of your group, because I belong to another group that's about 8 blocks up the hill here that had to go through the same thing with the city to try and get. Don't say, if you already agreed to something, if you already agreed to what you wanted, and even if there's some screwy things in there like a tennis court that I've never been able to figure out, after you determine how much money you're going to get, then start talking about priorities. Then say, and I disagree on this idea of priorities. I'm not willing to go back and say, okay, I'm willing to give up this. I'd rather say, if you thought you could do it for that price, then your architect should have been competent and your staff should have been competent to come up with an estimate that worked, and you've got a good spread in your bidders. Why isn't it working? And that's the way that I would approach it just from my savvy about the bidding process and contracting process. And I'm not a member of this committee, so that's just input is all.
Okay, it's taken and recorded. Charlie?
Okay, I just want to remind everybody that, to me, the priority is the date. The deadline is in May. There isn't much time, and that's it. There's not much time after May. Pauline DeGrange, when I met with her, said that that would be it. No money, if it's not done by May, no money. So I think we should decide right now who wants to be as soon as possible as the contractor, and then get it started, because our time is short.
Tommy, did you have something? Did you have your hand up?
We've
Pelon?
been messing around too much.
Well, I want to go back in retrospect to Pauline DeGrange's note. You see, over 35 years ago, they gave us $250,000 to build, this was the WPA, to build a recreation park at the foot of 28th Street. The federal government put 250, that's 1937. That's $250,000 they gave us at the time, and we put it there. I was there with my mariachi and the whole, the whole thing. We had a situation going there. Like I say, unfortunately, the war came on. The Port of San Diego took over the area, and of course, National Steel is there. Now, for the past 30 years, National Steel's been there making money on it. Now, Pauline DeGrange knows this, that they took away our 200 or say $250,000 away from us, with a promise eventually of giving it back or something. Now, what I'm trying to get at, there's a way in presenting this thing. Look, you've taken this away from us, and you've made money, made millions through it, and now she's giving us a pittance, that she knows about it, because I've hollered to her, again, because we've always been hollering for a swimming hole and all that. And now, you can imagine what $250,000 then, what is it worth now? See, I'm trying to say this is pittance against what she's trying to. She's always played this game. I don't know. And I don't know if whoever's going to speak for us will have to bring up the history, the background to this whole setup. What they took away from us, they promised, and never gave back to us, like the Indians. All right, we're in that same bag. Now it's it. Now we're screaming about pulling out this, and shall we put a link fence, or shall we the tennis court? I think, like Larry says, hit them, but be realistic. And I think I gave the plans of what we had. The one of the steering committee when they started, I think Clovis was in it way back a year or so ago over there. All the things that happened then was all done. Now this is it. And if you can make those councilmen realize what they've done to us and what we're asking for, and here we're fighting over, for percentages. Look, man, head it up there. They owe us this, not in, they owe us, well, I think millions, not, in according to what they've taken away from us. Now, it's gonna be up to you. I mean, how you present it and tell, look, we got it coming, it was ours, you took it away from us.
Okay.
Charlotte,
As far as them owing us, yeah, they do. They owe us the whole Southwest. Sure, we know that. They owe us a lot of money, but the time is short. May, and that's it.
But this is a
that's-
commitment by
that's
the
how it
agreement.
is.
hold it.
And I just think that we should, man, get a contractor and get it going, and that's it.
Okay,
That money will
there's
get
a lot of discussions been going on, and I got some things down that we're gonna have to decide on. And I'm gonna allow 3 more hands up for more discussion. That's it. First 3 I see. 1, 2, 1 more, 3. Okay. Irene?
To me, a very important factor here is the contractor. Now, I called on my compadre with the hopes of, like, my comadre mentioned a while ago, that at the beginning, when the Park Steering Committee wanted to get contractors assigned, that we were hopefully going to get the subcontractors all Chicanos, if at all possible. And the way I look at it, wholeheartedly, I hope that someone such as my compadre that just got his papers just recently to be a contractor, he knows other Chicano subcontractors that he could call on, and I don't give a damn what the city says. I believe and have faith that our Chicano contractors can do it. And why in the hell should we look up to the city and the Gabachos for that kind of a help?
Okay, 2 more hands are up. Richard, go ahead.
Well, he wanted to say something about that, so, like Larry was saying, I'm agreeing with him now because, like he says, when we get minority contractors, they can't handle it because they ain't big enough and they got the kind of money to handle a thing like this. I can't do what I can do right now because it's too much money.
Yes, but why can't we call a meeting and get all the contractors possible and see what we can work
The thing
out?
you can do is publish it in the papers and say you're looking for bids for this, and put it in, get publicity out, because I think myself that a lot of the Chicano contractors are informed of this. I may be wrong. There's a lot of them, there's a lot of Chicano contractors, they can't handle it, they won't do it because it's too big. They're scared of it, because they ain't got the bonding to do a job like this, see?
But if we
now,
join forces.
But now, if they can get maybe 5 Chicano contractors together and
that's
one
what I'm
joint
talking
venture,
Okay,
that's
I'm
a
gonna cut this conversation off for this reason. What you're talking about is one of the things that we're gonna decide upon, so this discussion can go on that. Okay, that's one of the things we're gonna be deciding on right now, what you guys are talking about. So if it's anything to do with what you're saying, it's gonna come back, because I got it down. Richard?
No, I took my mind.
Okay,
Well,
she'll take your spot.
right. Now, see, like my husband said, there's a lot of Chicano contractors that are afraid to handle the job because they cannot get the bonding. Now, like somebody had brought up before, can't there be a co-signer to help this Chicano contractor to get the bonding, and can't that co-signer be the federation?
Can I answer? As I said at the beginning of the meeting, when this was going out to bid, I talked to, I'm going to name the contractor, but I don't know what the meeting is, you probably know, Bernie. Well, you guys, I tried to have to be very strong because I know you need to work. And I said, well, if you can't do it by yourself because of bonding and capability, why don't you joint venture? Several of you get together, and all that is necessary when you go to this, when you submit your bid, that you have a backing of a bonding company, and they don't care how or where or you went out to meet what they require, but you have this backing of this bonding company, then your bid becomes responsive with the city because you're meeting what they're asking for.
Right.
I mean, that's up to you. It's going to be out for rebid, and And I'd like to clarify one thing. I heard somebody say that I was a city representative. I am not a city representative. I represent the architectural office. We're the ones that designed the park, and I'm 100% for the Chicanos. I've always been that way since Jesse Ramirez, Richard Gonzalez, and Luis Natividad. All of them know me well, and they know that I am for the community, and I will do anything to help. And if you care to meet with me in my office or our office, shall I put it, Lacray's office, I am willing to meet anytime and help out. So there is one possibility. Several of you, smaller contractors, joint venturing, and being able to be within bounding capability. That's the only way you're going to do it.
No, hold it. Okay,
My turn?
you're gonna be here all night, man.
No, I just stopped.
Dropped it?
No, I didn't lose it. Okay. One attitude that's running through our minds right now is that we all feel that we're pressed for time by this May deadline. Okay. Okay, espérate. I think that in order to dispel that myth that we're all here tonight because we're trying to meet a Tuesday deadline.
Are you leaving?
Okay? And we're seeing that it's not working.
If you're gonna leave.
We're seeing that it's not working. So then one of my propositions is going to be that we just take more time to enable other contractors to get in on the action. Okay. That's two things, right? So does the committee, instead of our original plan was to go back to it and say, okay, here's our priorities, jump on it and let's go. Okay, so is it wisest now to approach Mrs. DeGranger and say, we don't have, that is not an adequate amount of time. We have been feeling out our community. We sense that there is a potential for that work to be done and to incorporate more Chicano minority contractors in that action. We want to give them a chance at that bidding. We want to give them time to come up with combinations so that they can work, so they can involve themselves, so that we can bring that money back into our community through our labor. Okay? That's one thing. Okay, then another thing was mentioned about a spokesman. Okay, I've talked one course of action. Tuesday I propose that we go back to Tuesday's meeting and we say we are going to take more time. And because we've got certain inclinations coming from our people that we need more time to get together with more people, we can take it. We'll meet your... What has to happen in May is they have to transfer the funds, right? Somebody has to have the bid by that time, right?
I understand that. Well, I don't know actually. I'm not sure. Quickly, the fund will be lost and they have to go through the whole thing all over again.
Okay, I think I'm safe in saying this, that the only thing that has to happen in May is that those monies have to be off their books. Those monies have to be off their books.
The park has to be complete.
And complete by May. But we can still ask for another good month.
You know, I spoke to Mrs. DeGray. Park has got to be completed by May, and you know that it hurts, but the Gama is laughing at us because we can't decide.
Wait a minute.
That's all.
Wait a minute. Well, we can start. See, well, it's gonna be a funny thing if we start the park, and then they come and pull off our monies on something that's already started, so we can bogart that May deadline. I'm almost positive of that.
So long in deciding whether they were going to give us that land or not. And
They're the big holdup.
They wouldn't make a decision until, as they said in Sacramento, those people got off the land.
In other words, like I'm calling to call their bluff. I know for sure that in another month's time or another...
For one thing, you don't have the floor.
Wait a minute, I'm not finished, man.
She had it, and then you got it, and I ain't gonna be making this meeting like that. because everybody's gonna get confused.
Okay.
You've been talking an awful long
I
time.
know, because I got a lot to say, man. I had one more point, and I'd like to finish it. Now, I won't like to be cut off, man, because I'm on a train of thought, and you're going to come to, ya se acabó because I'm the chair. Fuck that.
Well, you know what? Fuck that if you're gonna run the whole goddamn meeting all night.
I'm not
Now
gonna
go
run-
ahead and finish your
All
point.
right, we're talking about...
Argument.
We're talking about a spokesman, and only at this point I'd like to select Mr. Pelon to be our spokesman. Decline.
Fine. I tell you what, you'll have to have somebody as, this is just mine, that really has been working with the committee, that's been here, has been sacrificing his time, that has earned, as I say, and it merits that situation, because you have to have an effective, honest, sincere person that can convey this to the council. But you're going to be up there against professional people, and if you think you should get a professional person, you should. I think you should start. You just got.
Okay, we're talking about a spokesman for a decision we haven't even made yet. Okay, now when I get the floor, we're gonna have to vote on some of these things. Okay.
Can I just ask one question?
Go ahead.
Why can't we see if we can negotiate for the monies we have plus the interest that have come in the past years, if you know what I mean? You know, the high rise in cost. And then see if we can negotiate for more money next year or something. But I feel we should try our best to get through what we have somehow, some way, you know. Even if we have to say, okay, you know, even though we feel more monies are due to us, make them say on paper or something that they'll give us more next year or the following years, because we gotta get something through, I think.
They promised this money to be allocated.
Okay, one more thing and one more thing.
Can I say something? Well, my opinion, I mean, I'm just new here. But I suggest that if you guys go two ways, either like he says, put in the paper, advertise for more contractors, and maybe you may get some guys, 3 or 4 contractors going to join bid on this. You know, it may work that way. But if you guys press for time, and Montoya and these other guys are closing the range, like the man said, in the bids, it's pretty fair, you know, it's in there. So if you guys are pressed for time, I suggest take that thing and start working and get the work, and start the progress going, and then fight it while the work is going. Because if you don't start the work, you know, the
Right
money's
on,
not
man. You
gonna help.
can't, how do you kill a project if the goddamn shit's out there
Get it
already? You
started.
pull money, a federal guy's gonna come and pull the monies off of a thing, an ongoing project?
Once you
Bullshit.
get the project started, and then you're going to say, hey, then you can argue about your escalations, your right, your everything, whatever you guys are shooting for, see? But once it started, you got it going. You got the machine rolling.
Yes, but once Montoya wins the bid, I mean, it's his
I
subcontract.
don't care if it's Montoya, whatever contractor gets it, the thing is, get it going, that's the main thing, get it going, and then you can.
Okay, I got the floor now. Wait a minute, Rico.
I just have one
gonna
important announcement.
an announcement.
Yeah.
I remember you laughing.
This isn't good. You know, this is, I think I have a very important announcement, and I think that everything shouldn't be decided tonight. It's too much of a rush and everything. Really, it is. Because for one reason, I have about 3 more persons that has to do with contracting, and I think everybody's opinion and ideas just has to be put together. You know, we can't just go by only tonight's, you know.
Well, you don't have to.
And you know, well, I mean, you know, like, we're not going to make this decision right now tonight. We've got to get the opinions and ideas of the other Chicano contractors, because those are the main ones I've been trying to get in touch with, is just Chicano contractors, you know. And we have 2 very important ones that couldn't show up tonight because it was too short a notice to tell them anything from yesterday to tonight. I was happy my compadre made it tonight.
No, that's because
you know.
we called David and got it cleared.
And then another thing is these 2 are coming up from Chula Vista, and then I have another one I was unable to even contact because he just wasn't around the whole.
Get them together.
And that's what I'm saying, you know, let's not rush and make these decisions.
If they want to joint venture and do it cheaper and do the same
Impetuously,
thing,
you
you
know.
know what I mean? Maybe they can underbid Montoya, who knows?
Okay, now I got the floor, I hope.
Okay.
I'm gonna give
That's
everybody,
my announcement.
I'm gonna give everybody a couple of seconds right now to do all their yelling right now. Everybody get your yellings out. Any
Well,
more?
now that has been accomplished.
Come on, I want a little bit more
No,
than
you know,
that.
may I say something? Years, you know, it seems like years ago, when we were meeting at Jose's house, what was the architect, that French guy, what was his name?
Andre Chacon?
Yeah, he mentioned then, if we're gonna ask for something, let's ask for the moon.
Right.
And we'll get what we want.
But no, man, we don't. Well,
That's when we first
Even
started
Ron
something.
said
Yeah.
But you gotta get it started and finished, man. Don't.
All right. The yelling's over. Now I'm gonna do a little yelling. Okay, as I see it, and tell me where I'm wrong, and I know you will. Okay, these are decisions we should vote on or not to vote on. All right? This is the way I see it. All right. Number one is to get other contractors together and formulate some kind of way where they can make a bid with union and maybe a couple of non-union, because it's going to have to be a union who gets it. Okay, we can go that route. The second way is to go Tuesday and set our priorities to in the Grange's office. And number three, to do both. So we can do both of those. In other words, we can get contracts together, go Tuesday, make our priorities, and still get the contract together. We can do it both ways. Another thing to decide on is what Tomas brought up, that we want to go and consider it that 157,000 is automatically 30% higher than it is right now. Okay. The other thing is that we wait to make any of these decisions later, or make them now. Okay, that was now if I left out any alternatives, tell me right now.
Nick, can I ask you a question to the group? What's wrong, does anybody have any objections to Montoya? Do you have an objection? Is anybody in favor of Montoya?
I wouldn't care if his mother did it.
I think he's a reliable person myself. I mean, he's not a fly-by-night.
Well, he's an honest person. He said he was out for the almighty buck in his own
Actually, I
pocket.
mean, any contractor.
Anybody?
With the fact that he is the small businessman, businessman president, and he doesn't go through his own directory and try and get his smaller contractors together to make a merger on this, is something, I mean, I just...
This is a general contract. He's the main
Right,
contractor. The only way you're gonna do it, you're gonna get 5 different contractors together and go to a joint venture. He's not. They're coming for a general contract.
Right, I know that. But what I'm saying is that he has got the subcontract out. Now, he has gone subcontracting out, and he has gotten...
He's trying to get the
contract out.
cheapest price he can get. He can't go by this guy and this guy. He's gonna, if I bid, and the guy bids, he's
But
gonna get the lowest
in
bid.
order, just like the man said here, to bring the, the community in on the park, to keep the money that, that's being made from the city within our own community. I say, I moved out of the community.
You gotta have professionals doing this work.
Right,
You just
there
can't-
is professional and if he was that sensitive, as he says he is, he would have got 3 smaller contractors together and said, look, this is what has got to happen. Can you guys merge?
Okay, I'm gonna have to close these sweethearts right now.
Okay, you guys at home here.
Okay. The first thing we're gonna vote on right now is the most obvious one to me, and that is we want to wait and make a decision later. And then don't leave yet, because then we have to decide what are we going to decide then. Okay? Now, that may sound silly, but that's what we're all saying in here. I'm not saying it, that's what everybody said. Okay, we either gonna make a decision tonight or we're gonna make it some other time. So I wanna find out before we start voting for anything else, do we wanna do it tonight? Okay, all those in favor of waiting for another date, and we have to decide when that's gonna be.
It'll be in the near future.
Well, just read it here.
Dave, may I make a suggestion, one comment?
Make it a quick comment.
Like tomorrow?
Hold it! I'd like to have everybody's attention, please. We met last Tuesday at the city. We did commit ourselves to start working on a priority. And now we're trying to change it again. And time is awfully short, and she knows, and we're all aware of it. I am going to suggest that we try to work at least on a tentative priority list. So if we're asked the question and the decision has to be made very soon, we do have that ready. Because this thing of prolonging and prolonging is not going to get us very much done. Now, a little bit of the background. This thing has been coordinated for the last 3 years, till I say. We have record in our office of at least 24 meetings with the various people here, and yet we're not, there's something wrong, and we're still in a confused mind. Now, I have been asked by the city many times to convey some sort of an opinion what takes place here, and I've always said here that the people are not actually aggressive. Sometimes there's misunderstanding as to the mechanics with the city. I said, you people here in the city do this all day long and year after year, you're experts at it. The people over there, my people, I said, are not experts. Some of them, it's for the first time they are confronted with something like this. They are a little confused. Let's help them out and work this thing out. Let's get, and I have said it here before, over and over again, it is very good that we have those meetings with the city because then it dispels all that misunderstanding. We, the people here, understand the mechanics a little better and get things going. Now, there's one more thing. This is so short, the time is so limited now that we should get this priority, and there's an opportunity to work on the other face of this park, which is across Dewey. We have the experience, shall we put it that way, and get more input. Make good use of the experience that we're going or acquiring right now. But let's get this going just as fast as possible. That is my suggestion.
Okay, please hold your comments down. Hold your comments down. If you ain't got an idea which way you're going to go now, you're never going to have a way. Okay, first thing is first, I'm going to be dictating this so we can get it on with as much as I can right now. So if you're going to say something, wait a minute, you're going to get a chance to say it anyway. First, we have to decide if we're going to decide tonight. All right? All those in favor of waiting and deciding on these things at another date, which we'll set today, raise your hand.
Why don't you set it right now?
Okay.
When will that future date be?
No, hold it. I ain't going to set a date until I find out if that's what we want.
I know, we don't want, if it's gonna be too long a time, like say by Monday, okay, fine.
I'm not setting a date, man. I'm just bringing it up.
Put it this way, you should say whether it's going to be between now and Tuesday or now and after Tuesday.
I don't know. That's
That's all you have to say.
Well, he's not saying so. I mean, he's not explaining.
All right. Okay. If you want me to set a date, okay, I'm gonna. If you want me to set a date, I'll set a date. Okay. Since time is important, the date's gonna have to be Tuesday.
Okay.
And I want it to be Tuesday in the daytime, and the reason I want to have it in the daytime is because if anything comes up, there's enough time to let us all know about it. So it'd be in the daylight hours we're talking about.
Bids go up again, right?
At 3 o'clock, we have to have, with the town.
Well, that's Tuesday also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tuesday.
Okay, then the only day we're gonna have to, the holiday Monday,
No, but no.
What holiday?
isn't there a holiday, Labor Day?
It's a holiday.
No?
Sunday's a holiday.
I thought it was a work, I thought everybody was off. I thought everybody was off Monday.
Monday's a holiday.
They don't get around, they don't want to admit anything.
Your question is, do they want to go to, do they want to make a decision tonight or not?
No, but they wanna know when the date's gonna be, and that'll make up their mind.
Look at David, I think everybody's exhausted tonight. I think if you have a date before Tuesday, everybody.
That's what we're gonna decide on.
And why don't you get on the ball?
Which date do you like to have a meeting on?
If it's that such an
Sunday or
important
Monday?
issue, then why put it Saturday, Sunday, Monday? I mean, it's an important issue, you want to meet before Tuesday, so what if it's admission day Monday? You know?
We have to have our priorities in the Tuesday.
You got a minute or so.
Okay. They were having a meeting for
I'm already
nothing?
saying I'm already, getting contact right now to other people.
Well, then you'll know by Sunday, right?
By tomorrow, I should get word.
Okay, then Sunday you'll know.
Are you referring to contractors?
Yes, that's what
Well,
I'm
there'll be plenty of time because,
Pardon?
there will be plenty of time because after this priority, it doesn't mean that the bid goes the next day. It'll be, so we say, week, so you will have plenty of time.
I think so, we don't have to worry about the contract. Okay, that's cool.
Okay, did everybody hear that? Can be a little bit more quieter over there in the corner. Okay, I hope everybody heard that. There is no rush as far as the bidding is concerned. The only rush is for Tuesday, so either we're gonna go in there with priorities or not. If we go in there with priorities, I just feel we meet our commitment, yet we haven't said anything. We just said priorities. We didn't say, these are gonna go out or whatever. All we're doing is saying what we said we were gonna do. And we did say we were gonna set priorities at the previous steering meeting. Okay. Then, with that in mind, all those in favor of deciding on whether we're gonna set in our priorities Tuesday, raise your hand. Setting in our priorities, nothing else. Yeah, for our previous commitment for Tuesday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's unanimous.
Does that mean without negotiating for the other percentage of?
No, it doesn't mean that.
That means with.
We're still got to
That just
negotiate
means,
that way.
yeah. All that means is we're doing what we said we were gonna do. Okay. Now here are the priorities, and we gotta decide, these are the priorities as I receive them. These ain't the priorities, these are low priorities. Low priorities for Chicano Park is 1, the tennis court. Number 2, the teen auto wash. Number 3, the fences. And number 4, the benches and tables, which I understand if we have to, we can make them ourselves anyway. These are low priority. There's also one other low priority, I don't know if we're going to lead it out or not, and that is, everybody had the idea that it would be possible to leave out the landscaping. I'm convinced no now. So I'm going to go ahead on and say that landscaping is a priority. So we'll just forget about that unless somebody got an objection.
We're talking about, see,
The things I mentioned are low priorities.
yeah, but in landscaping,
Oh, yeah, okay.
we're talking about the idea, when I mentioned it to you, I was talking about the idea of the sprinkler system going in, the grading going in, the curbing going in, but the plantas and the hierbas that go in will come from the community. Now, see, because, in other words,
That's my understanding.
see, because landscaping covers grading, covers the irrigation, and covers the plant life.
It's usually divided into irrigation and landscaping, or the planting itself. So what you're talking about is actually the irrigation, and which includes the curbing.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it off I'm gonna cut it off for this reason. On the issue of landscaping, we'll leave that out and talk about that separate. Let's vote on the four things that I said. Okay, from the Chicano Park Steering Committee, these are low priority. The tennis court, the teen area, the fences.
Could we have a quick reading of all the things, you know, like, what's in there, everything, and then.
Remember we were supposed to go yesterday, and you're at our home?
That's, I'm gonna have to assume we looked at them, man, for the last week. Yeah, well. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take that position. Okay, if these four things are in favor, everybody say aye, because remember, when we say aye, these are the things we're gonna get.
Where do you find it at?
In favor, in other words, in favor of being low.
Oh, yeah, being the lowest, yeah. Throw them out.
Everything else is a priority. Everything not mentioned here is a priority. Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, the next thing to discuss is the landscaping, if we want to add that into the low priority. That's up for discussion right now. Okay, talk about it.
Hey, David, I'm probably gonna say something that piss everybody off right now, man.
It's all right. I doubt it.
Okay, you know, and we're talking about the priorities and all that, man, but I think we're still ignoring a lot of things that were said earlier tonight, man.
I know.
Like, still screwing up priorities. We're still waiting for the Homo Vida, jacking up the feria, so we still can do it. You know, like, we're forgetting all that. We talked for 2 hours about different alternatives, and then after now, everyone wants to go home. Everybody's saying later for that, and just develop our priorities, and forget all the things that everybody's been talking about, man.
Okay, now I want to go back to that. First of all, we already did that. Okay, and the second point is the things that I mentioned are things that people didn't even want. And one of the things, the main one, was the tennis court. People didn't even want that. Okay, the teen area was also something that, you know, they could do without. The fences we didn't want for a fact. Okay, the benches, we had ideas that we would like to make our own benches. So all these things, except for the teen area, is things we didn't want anyway. So what you're saying is not in conflict with what we're trying to do. I feel that way. Because these things are things that people didn't want.
How about the horseshoes? Where is that in your?
That's a priority. I didn't mention it. Okay, now we already made a decision, so we're going to have a United Front Tuesday. Now remember, those 4 things that I said are the things that we're going to say you can take out. Now the next thing we're talking about is whether we want to include the landscaping, not the irrigation or nothing like that, the grass.
The grass, I think they should put in.
Okay, put in, I'm not talking about put in, I mean putting in for low priority. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, should we include that or not? Now, that's up to the discussion right now. Tommy, you want to say something?
Isn't that enough? No.
I think so.
Well, I'd like to keep it.
Okay, Charlotte got it.
The architect said, why give anything up?
Yeah, that's what I
Don't give anything up. When I give anything up, contract goes into the future.
Yeah, we're giving it, that's right. Say it out loud. We're not giving anything up, man, we're just saving it for later on.
Right.
All right?
And the point is, I hope, no, if somebody else comes up talking about this again, I'm going to get pissed off. We just voted on it, we just made it. We had 3 hours to talk about it.
Okay,
So the discussion is still on landscaping. Now, keep it to that.
Okay, I feel that grass should be planted and that we should
By the
have
community or by the city?
By the city,
By the city,
grass,
right.
grass. The rest of it, the community can.
Community, right. The
Okay.
irrigating and the grass.
bad suggestion. Any more? Counter.
Can we have something put in? A basketball court instead of the tennis court?
Yeah, we got that. That's it, man. Where you at? Somebody give him a map.
One basketball court, right?
No. Those were things I was playing with, Kessel. Those were things I was playing with. The tennis court, no, that was just me. That wasn't mentioned here. Our low priorities are everything else. These are the only things we don't want. Okay. All those in favor of keeping land, let the city do the landscaping, put the grass in, say aye. Aye. Unanimous. Okay, Tuesday, at Pauline DeGrade's office, we said we don't want tennis court, we don't want teen area. No, we're not saying we don't want, I'm sorry. These are low priority, oh, that's the Federation. No priority. Okay, now, for the bidding and for the money part of it and hustling our contractors, we still got time. Since we got plenty of time, for that, right? Since we got plenty of time for that, we'll bring that up in agenda number 1 at the next regular Chicano Park Steering Committee meeting, which is Wednesday at 4:30 at the Chicano Park building.
You might get called tomorrow, because I might get those contractors.
Meeting adjourned.
Ask the man in the corner when you
It don't matter.
What do you mean it don't matter? I want to give them their opinion as fast as we can. They gotta know what's going on.
Hold it!
Everybody move.
Nobody can leave until the place is cleaned up.
Hold your chairs, please.
Wait a minute.
That's my toe.
I just folded it.
Everybody just hold it for a second. Everybody hold it for a second. I'd like to do this Rico style.